Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Jenna-Lee Stewart, and I am a first-year Agribusiness student here at Lakeland College, and I will be your MC for this afternoon. I would like to welcome you all to Lakeland's Agribusiness, Ag Ventures presentations, where second-year Agribusiness students and double-dip students will be showing off months of their hard work. First off, I would like to acknowledge that on the land which we gather on is traditional homeland hunting and a ceremonial gathering place of the First Nations, Métis, Inuit, the Plains Cree, Woodland Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dean, and Nakota Sioux people have practiced their culture and languages on Treaty 6 and Métis Region 2 territories for generations and were the original caretakers of this land. Many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people call this land home today and have done so for millennia. We would like to acknowledge the history we have created together on this land and to be thankful for the opportunity to walk together side by side in friendship, learning from our past and promoting positive relationships for the past, present, and future. With that, a couple housekeeping things. I would ask that everybody please places their devices on silent. Washrooms are out either door to your left, but we ask that you refrain from getting up until the intermission if possible. And there will be time for questions at the end of each presentation. Next, I would like to start off by introducing the judges. Judges, if you could please raise a hand when I introduce you. First off, we have Braden Bach, Lakeland's rodeo coach. Next, we have Jessica Emmett, one of Lakeland's instructors. Then we have Heidi and Karen from Synergy here with us. Thank you all for being here. We would also like to thank Lakeland's SLT and Agricultural Sciences School for supporting students on their final presentations. Also, a special thank you for Adam Waterman, Chair of Lakeland's College's Board of Governors, and Dean Fawcett, board member, for taking time out of their days to be here with us. Today, the judges have a hard job of awarding 3 different awards. First award is Outside the Box, where they will award the team who has the most innovative idea. Next is Piece of the Pie, the venture they think is most worth investing in. Then we have Takes the Cake, who they think is the best group overall. After the presentations, we invite you all to come to Spurs to celebrate and chat with the students while the judges deliberate. These awards will then be awarded there. And with that, we will get into our presentations. Please help me welcome Justin and Nicole with Farm Forward Consulting to the stage.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Justin Chernichin, and I am 50% co-owner of Farm Forward Consulting. I grew up on a mixed farm, cow-calf and grain. I'm also hoping to wrap up my agribusiness diploma here at Lakeland College shortly after this. I'm pretty excited. A little background as to why this business venture, was interesting to me is last summer, on my family farm, we were doing an upgrade to our handling system. We wanted to add a hydraulic 4-way sort onto our squeeze chute. We spent a lot of time, designing it, sourcing out materials, working around Dad's cheap Ukrainian budget. That was more of an issue than anything. That all took us longer than actually building it. And guess what? It's still not perfect. So the ironic part about it is I remember last summer I told my dad, I wonder if there's anybody who specializes in this. And fast forward 9 months, well, here we are.
Hi, I'm Nicole Verhoof. I'm the other 50% owner of Farm Forward Consulting. So I'm from a dairy farm in central Alberta, and I decided to continue my interest in agriculture at Lakeland College in animal science and agribusiness, where I found a passion for animal care and farm efficiency. So we created Farm Forward to help farmers become more efficient on their own farms and achieve operational improvement. We want to help strengthen the future of farming.
Yeah, so our goal is to provide farmers and producers with, new and improved technologies to maximize efficiency with their livestock facilities. So we do this through a 3-stage model: consulting, designing, as well as project management. Given our background in the industry, we are going to stick to 4 areas. That would be livestock handling, cow-calf, feedlot, and dairy facilities. We hope to kind of package together everything for the farmer and give it to them all at once, sourcing out all the materials, creating a design, maybe even sourcing out, a construction contractor to build facilities for them.
So for our business to be successful, we're looking to increase our industry connections to give our customers the most relevant and useful information that we possibly can. We're also looking to increase our customer base, and we're looking for any marketing opportunities for our service. As farm kids, we understand how important your farm is to you, and we really respect all the work that it took to build it up. So we want to help you continue your legacy, and that is why you, the farmer, are our customer. So if you're looking to renew your infrastructure in any way, we would love to help. For our marketing, we plan to attend trade shows, socialize and speak at industry events, and we hope to get positive reviews and recommendations from our customers.
So this is our projected 3-year income. Year 1 at $38,000, year 2 $177,000, and year 3 $299,000. We chose to provide you guys with a net income versus a return on investment because we have a really low operating cost, where like it's a personal skill trait versus a service that requires tools or equipment to complete a task. Overall, we are pretty stoked and looking forward to getting out in industry, meeting people, and helping farmers make their dreams come true. Any questions? Yeah, so the question is do we have connections in the industry with retailers and construction companies? We plan to make those connections and work with them to kind of tie it all together and give it to the farmer and producer all at once versus them sourcing out each individual aspect.
One thing to add to that is that we are independent, so we do not have any ties to any companies. We're not selling for any company. We just want to give the farmer all the options that are possible.
As far as I'm concerned and what we've researched, this is sort of a niche. There's a lot more like architectural stuff on like a much larger scale for like massive projects, but nobody really doing like the small stuff in the egg industry, not that we know of particularly. Okay, so the question is how do we charge? So each of our 3 models has a different layout. So consulting just gets like us to talk together and figure out like what you want, and go through a budget and what you like, basically everything you're looking for. That we charge kind of based on the size of the project. Like we have a fixed fee, and then the same goes for designing and project management. It's just a fixed fee based off the size of the project. Okay, so the question is who is our target demographic and how do we market to them? Our target demographic is the middle-sized farmers and producers. We found that a lot of the very large corporate-sized farms can handle these types of projects on their own. In my case, on my family farm, we were probably at that size where we could justify having somebody come in and give us advice. So somewhere in the mid-size range of farms. And then do you want to add on how we market?
We're going to market through trade shows, and we hope to speak at industry events on the importance of efficiency and how we are doing more with less in today's day and age. So that's kind of the way we want to reach our customers.
So the question is do you think this is something that the farmer would have in their budget? I personally think so. There is a ton of value in getting outside advice, and like we're not outrageously expensive, like just to even consult with or even get a design, like wouldn't be outrageously expensive for a mid-sized farmer, and just the benefits that come with getting a third party to come in and get advice are quite valuable. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. That was a great presentation. Next, I would like to welcome Grady, Kendall, and Krista with Valley View Greenhouse.
Good afternoon. My name is Kendall Watson. This is Krista and Grady, and we are the founders of Valley View Greenhouse, a direct-to-consumer greenhouse located in Listowel, Ontario. Our business is ran as a partnership where we each have 33% of shares. My position in the company is the general production manager, where I am in charge of overseeing all production, including quality crop growth, managing resources, and overseeing staff on daily tasks.
My name is Grady Tharl. I'll be assuming the role of Sales and Marketing Manager at Valley View. Responsibilities allocated to my position include oversight of marketing activities, branding, market research, identification of new market opportunities, as well as building consumer relationships to bolster sales, and eventually taking on a leadership role in a growing sales and marketing team as we expand our business.
Hello everyone, my name is Krista Loss, and I am the Finance Manager and Human Resource Manager of Valley View Greenhouse. My position involves payroll distribution, budgeting, distribution, and employee relationship management. I'm in charge of making sure we have a positive workplace environment, and we also have a strong financial performance.
So our mission at Valley View is to provide fresh produce to the Listowel community through sustainable growing practices and economic production methods.
So to get our project off the ground, we will be seeking a $30,000 loan on a 10-year term, which when coupled with $15,000 of ownership contribution will be used to purchase various inputs, including seed, fertilizer, rent, utilities, growing media, and planters so that we may begin our first growing season. And our competitive advantage here at Valley View is our ability to provide fresher produce year-round than our competitors' imported products, which helps us reach our selected target market of health-minded individuals, organizations, and restaurants in Listowel and the surrounding area.
For the promotion of our product, our business will use a combination of digital and local strategies. Social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram will showcase behind-the-scenes content of our product and include product updates and sales taking place for our company. At the same time, we'll reach out to our local community utilizing newspaper ads, bulletin boards, farmers markets, and community events. Our website will serve as our central hub, including information about our pricing, product availability, and even allowing our customers to reserve our products in advance. We also recognize that strong product quality and customer service will help build our word-of-mouth marketing. Initially, we plan to sell to our customers directly from our greenhouse facility and at local farmers markets. But as we grow and expand, we hope to form partnerships with retailers and explore delivery options to our customers on a personal level. To get started, Valley View Greenhouse will use both personal investments and borrowed capital to start up our business. To start, each of the three partners, me, myself, and Kendall, will invest $5,000 each for initial investment of $15,000. We also will apply for a $30,000 loan, which we hope to repay over a 10-year period. In addition, our startup costs are also relatively low because we chose to rent out an existing greenhouse facility rather than purchasing land and building your own greenhouse facility. Based on our financial analysis, we have really high returns of investment. First year, we have a return on investment of 106%. In our second year, we have a return of investment of 155%. And in our third year, we have a return of investment of 411%.
Thank you for taking the time to watch our presentation. We will now be open to any questions.
Why do you need a full-time salesperson and why do you need a full-time finance person?
The question was, why do we need a full-time finance person, a full-time salesperson, and a full-time other person? Sorry. The reason we did this is because we have three main owners, so then each of us would have an active role in the company to get it started up, and we want to divide things out evenly to where we are both most specialized and most interested in our business to really help our business get off the ground and start running. Is there any more questions?
So, when you rent this facility, have you looked into office in that area that you and certain all the office that you
One of the questions was, did we look into renting options in my local area where we want to place a greenhouse, and did we look into additional costs that are needed to run the facility? And my answer would be yes. In Southern Ontario, there is a bunch of local greenhouses close to me, and we did take into account heating costs, we did take into account water, we did our water bill, we did take into account the cost of our soil and other products that we need to get our business off the ground. Yes, Darla?
We are growing, to start off, lettuce, tomatoes, green onions, peppers, and cucumbers, but then obviously that'll change with time depending on what's selling well and what's not, and based off of like customer requests, I guess. Well, in the first 3 years, we did not take out a salary at all. So no, we cannot quit our day job yet, but hopefully in the future.
Thank you, guys. Next, please welcome Dylan and Kaylee with DK Genetics.
All right, first off, who's here has been to Canadian Western Agribusiness? Awesome, let me paint you a picture. You're at the All-Star sale, the Angus All-Star sale at Canadian Western Agribusiness. You see a heifer you absolutely love, and all of a sudden she's at $40,000. You throw your hand up not thinking, and boom, you just bought her. How are you ever gonna make that money back on that one cow?
DK Reproductive Services is an embryo leasing opportunity based in Spiritwood, Saskatchewan. Our operation is led by myself, Kaylee Murray, and my partner, Dylan Fry, along with industry members, including legal advisors, an embryo technologist, and industry mentors in both genetics and reproduction. We aim to help producers get a faster and quicker ROI on their genetic investments to help them limit the financial burden, time, labor, and facilities needed during embryo transfer.
So when we're building our project and our business, we wanted to take a step back and think, what are our main goals? What are our objectives? Well, for us, we want to help producers and give them a clear pathway to help breed genetic excellence into their herds. We want to be a top distributor of helping people move out and expand their good cows, their top cows in the breed, and get those out across the industry. We want to be a cost-effective way for all the producers to maybe spend a little less money when they're trying to get those embryos out and get some more calves on the ground. And in the end, we aim to be a reliable and trustworthy source to help producers build their herd or even build their genetic excellence. For our project, I know that looks steep, but when you step back and look at it, we're looking at $1.9 million startup. That's land cost, equipment cost, and the cows we're gonna need to buy to start this. There's a further breakdown of it on the right side of the slide. If you look in the top left, that's our 160-acre piece. On that piece, if we buy that, you have your infrastructure and everything we need to start and get all those cows bred. And if you look in the bottom left, we have a long piece of land there, and that land is rented pasture land that we can run those cows on during the summer with those calves on them.
Our process starts each cow from implantation all the way through till weaning. So each cow will be implanted 60 days post-calving to prepare each cow properly post-calving. Then there'll be a 28-day and a 60-day blood draw to confirm pregnancy. If the 28-day blood draw comes back negative for first-round implantation, then the breeder will be asked if they want to do a second-round implantation on that same female. If they choose to go forward, that female will be implanted a second time. If after 2 rounds of implantation she still comes up negative for a successful implant, the cow will be moved to the commercially bred side of our program to keep revenue going for that year, and then she'll be returned to the embryo side of the program in the following breeding season.
Our target market, we're trying to hit that purebred producer and other producers, more purebred producers that maybe don't have the time, the extra labor, the infrastructure, or the money to get that all going on their own farm, and as well as being anyone in the industry who has a desire to advance their genetic technologies or herd size. How are we going to market this? With word of mouth. If you've ever been in the agriculture industry, you know that everybody's always talking. They always have something good or bad to say about somebody, and everybody knows everyone. So we're going to take that word of mouth and we're going to try and use that to spread our business, as well as use trade shows. Get to a cattle show, a farm show, any other kinds of trade shows, get a booth up, help get our name out and our brand out and our business out in the industry. And social media. I guarantee everybody in here has social media. You're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're liking posts about ag, their cows, anything with farming. All of a sudden the algorithm says, hey, they might like this, let's throw this in here, and all of a sudden our business is popping up on your page.
Our program has 4 main payments. Your implantation fee, which is just at cost value. It has a gestational leasing fee, so this is from when implantation till calving. Lactation term, so this is from calving till weaning. And then a calf management fee. This covers all costs for us to keep the calf until weaning, and you don't have to worry about it. The distribution, the breeder during the gestational period is responsible for 60% of the cow costs, while the breeder during the lactation term is responsible for 40%. Our business will assume the cost during these transition periods while the cow is between contracts to keep the cost coverage going. Our business, we aim to have 125 cows in the first year, 250 in the second year, and 300 in the third year, as you can see the full breakdown on the left. We aim to have a 60% conception rate on round 1, 30% on round 2, and then the rest of the females will be moved to the commercially bred side of our program. In year 1, we'll aim to have 562,000 in sales with an ROI of -3%, as we are assuming all costs for the first year. In year 2, when we upgrade to 250 females, we'll have total sales of $1.29 million and an ROI of -21%. This lower ROI reflects the investment of another 125 females into our operation. And in year 3, we aim to have $1.7 million in total sales with an ROI of 47% and a net income of $642,000, showing the profitability once our operation reaches full scale. So with risk mitigation, with our risk mitigation strategies, we're able to bring in an additional 35% in sales. We are going to do a liability agreement, so all clients are required to sign at the beginning of the process before implantation. That takes away our liability if something goes wrong during the process. It also tells our services and what they can expect from us throughout the process. We're also doing the 2 rounds of implantation if the first one isn't successful. This helps keep customer satisfaction, but also maintains higher conception rates for our implantation, as well as commercial breeding. If both implantations are unsuccessful, they'll move to the commercially bred side of our program so that we're still getting a calf in the fall and still maintaining that revenue.
At the end of the day, our main goal is to bridge the gap between the real world and genetic excellence and make it a real thing. And we're going to do this by a simplified, full-service embryo transfer leasing program. And really, this is for any producer. We can help producers that don't have maybe the infrastructure, the work, the labor, or the money to build that infrastructure to do so. Any questions?
Could you repeat the question one more time? Sorry. No, so it's just a consultant program, so we're not really keeping the calves, we're just doing it for the breeder, so whatever they want put into our recip cows, we'll put in, and then they get the calves, and whatever kind of happens, and they can decide with that calf if that's going to maintain in their program or if they're going to sell it or what they're going to do from there. Does that answer your question? Emerson? We thought about that, but one thing we were concerned about doing on-farm services is us giving the cows to those guys, our recip cows, is the biosecurity, because if we bring those cows back from how many different places, how are we going to manage the disease that way? So keeping the cows on farm at our place would help keep the biosecurity, and we're not going to have diseases coming in from different operations. Braden? Me and Dylan will be doing the day-to-day operations, maintaining the cow herd, and then we have our mentors. As we expand, we've looked at adding like office people and more staff, but at the beginning it'll be me and Dylan doing day-to-day operations.
And an embryo technician to put the embryos in.
Darla? So this is an operation that we actually rent the land currently, my family farm. They do have more grassland around their area. This would be the starting point. And as we grow, we look at maybe getting in more land as we need it. But that would be the starting point of how we would start grazing our cattle. Owen? Yeah, so we'll be taking embryos from other breeders, putting them in cows we own, and then once the calves are weaned, those calves will go back to the breeder, and then we just continue and the next calf goes on. Yes? We have considered that. That would just be grass management through rotational grazing and other different management strategies to try and maintain that and keep carryover for other years.
This is Cale. He is a 23-year-old farmer. This is...
Next, please help me welcome Gracie and Kira with CG Farm Finance.
This is Cale. He is a 23-year-old farmer who is trying to take over his family farm on his own. He is great at planning the production, but when it comes to the bookkeeping, he's struggling. He really wishes there was someone he could call for help.
We only have one question for you. Have you ever felt like Cale? Because Gracie and I are here to help this problem. Lots of farmers are in Cale's shoes who would rather be on the farm working in the tractor than working in the office. Our main goal is to keep these farmers and their oopsies to the field involving the tractor rather than in the office having oopsies with their numbers. My name is Kira Buziak. I'm the co-owner and head of marketing.
And my name is Gracie LeBlanc. I'm the co-owner and head of finance.
Our mission with KG Finance is providing accurate, timely, and dependable bookkeeping services for farmers in Saskatchewan to make confident financial decisions all year round. Our vision is to be the most trusted bookkeeping partners for farms, while helping producers stay organized, profitable, and confident in every financial decision. Our target market are young farmers, one-person operations, large operations, small operations, and startups. Studies show 53.4% of all Canadian farms are ran by a single person. Our goal is to help these farmers stay out of the office so they can spend more time in the tractor. Lots of farmers also just bring in their wives who have to learn how to do the books. We take all that off their hands. Our marketing strategy is word of mouth and targeting young farmers through social media like websites, Instagram, Facebook, while also going to a lot of trade shows like Agribusiness and Ag in Motion, while also doing radio stuff for the older folks in their tractors.
All right, so this is a mock-up dashboard of what our farmers could see, our clients could see, so that they know what's going on their farms. A lot of farmers have issues or have doubts about putting their finances in other people's hands and not know what's going on with them. So this is just a way for us to show them exactly what's happening on their farm, and they can access this 24/7. So our project need, because we are a remote business, we don't have a large project need for a building and things like that. So we have budgeted, we need computers, printers, as well as software subscriptions and vehicles. So for computers, we each are going to have a laptop to be able to travel to farms with and do our work with them when our clients want, as well as a desktop for our at-home offices. Subscriptions such as QuickBooks and Ag Expert, these are what we will use mainly, and this is also based on what our clients want and what they're familiar with. And then printers, we will need that in our home office setups, as well as vehicles, which we've chosen to use our personal vehicles and pay ourselves mileage through the company. All right, so our finances, we offer a large business continuous package. This is for farms over 8,000 acres, and this goes for $13,000 a year. This is after market research. We have the small business continuous package. This is for farms under 8,000 acres, and this is also, or no, this goes for $6,500 a year. And then we have our tax preparation package. This goes for $700, and this is for the farmers who do their own books but just need help preparing them for taxes. Each package involves payroll, invoicing, full service bookkeeping. So for our ROI, as you can see, they are very high. However, that goes back to us not having a large startup costs. So our year one is $386. We have forecasted that each of us will bring in one new client for each continuous package each quarter, just as our marketing picks up. And then the tax preparation package, we forecasted for 2 in the tax season, so that would be the first quarter. Then as our marketing picks up and we gain more clientele, it grows. So in year 2, we have 645 ROI, and year 3 is 984 ROI. Thank you for listening, and we would now like to open the floor for questions. Owen?
Would you help farmers with their bank loans?
Yeah, we can. We can help them find bank loans, and also we would manage their payments, so we would take care of that for them, yes. Yeah.
Well, the question is why we chose to mostly do young farmers. Our strategy with that is young farmers nowadays, I see it in my family. My brothers growing up, their whole goal was to take over the farm, so they didn't really care the financial side, let alone try to learn it. So a lot of these farmers that are taking over their family farms now have no idea how to do any of this. So we want to target them to take that off their hands so they have more time to do other things.
Darla? The question was our target market the farmers or the farmers' wives? Honestly, both. Yeah, I think we all know that the farmers' wives definitely take on a lot of the load a lot of the time, I guess. So yeah, both, I guess. That's a great idea, actually. We could definitely move into that too, because that's a great idea. Thanks, Darla.
Got a question up there?
So that is something that we definitely need to look into more. However, there is programs out there for website use, I guess, and to make websites, and those come with just a subscription fee, and we would be able, me and Kira, to be able to design it and send it out to our clients.
I think to add to that, I think we would personally want to develop our own. That way we know what farmers can see, because a lot of them might not care to see all of it, but some might want to see every number, every detail. So that way we can have pages on pages of where we can put statements and their invoicing, things to categorize, so it makes it easier for them. So I think it'd be easier for us to eventually develop one, so we can kind of categorize so it makes it easier for the farmer.
So going back to your pricing strategy, do you see issues by pricing off acres? Because what if these farms have other avenues of revenue or other places to sell from the farm that might make your job harder?
So the question was, for our pricing strategy, do we think that we'll run into issues with having farmers with other revenue streams? So for the get-go, we're going to start off with just grain farms to begin with, and then as we move forward, we are wanting to bring in more bookkeepers that have more knowledge in like livestock, for example, as Kira and I have both grown up on grain farms, and that's where we specialize. So yeah, going forward, that definitely is an issue, or a factor to take into consideration. However, for right now, it's mainly grain farms that we'll be targeting.
We have another question somewhere? No?
Next, we will welcome John, Namdi, and Taryn with Farm to Phone.
We are Farm to Phone.
So my name is John McLean. I come from a grain farm around Paradise Valley, Alberta, and I am the Chief Technology Officer of Farm to Phone.
I'm Taryn Brochu. I come from a small town. I'm a cattle and grain operation. I am the CEO.
My name is Namdi Dike, and I'm from West Africa, Nigeria.
So here at Farm to Phone, we are a company that helps local small businesses sell their local goods. If you think something like Facebook Marketplace, it's like that, but different. We help people that have trouble selling and marketing their products. We are an app and website that you can download and access for free. You'll be able to search, so just say honey, and it will bring you to local honey producers near you. It's basically a mobile farmers market that you can access anywhere, anytime. We created Farm to Phone to help with conveniency. People want local goods, and people want an easy way to sell their goods. Farmers markets are usually during the summer season. Well, you can't wait a whole year to sell, and you can't wait a whole year to buy. With today's gas prices, you can't be driving around looking for different farmers markets. So with Farm to Phone, you can search what you want and go right to the area and get it. It's also cheaper for the producer because it's free to download and use. But if they choose to market, we have monthly plans where you can pay a small fee to market your products.
Customer identification. Our target customers are our local producers, which are farmers and small businesses, consumers who are interested in buying local goods, Our target market is Western Canada, mainly for ages 18 to 65 who are good with technology. The main purpose for our products is producers want an easy and low-cost way to sell their products, while consumers want an easy and convenient way to buy local goods.
So for our marketing plan, since we are an online platform, most of our marketing activities are going to be online advertising on social media sites. So this is your Facebook, this is your Instagram, this is TikTok. And the great thing about these platforms is that when we pay for ads on those platforms, they will be likely served to people within our target demographic through targeted advertising. We plan to spend around 10% of our operating revenue on advertising. And we do have potential for physical advertising at agricultural trade shows. So if we have a booth at an ag trade show, we can talk to customers, potential customers. We can, get feedback from our platform from them. We can introduce them to our platform and the benefits that it provides for them. So for year one finances, our company has 3 revenue streams. So our first is direct ad revenue. So this is where we work with other ag companies to have ads hosted on our platform. This gives us a higher revenue than something that's more broad, such as Google AdSense. And then our main source of revenue is ad placement revenue. So we estimated that we'd have about 50,000 monthly users in our first year. We estimated around 10% of those would be producers. And we estimated that around 10% of those producers would pay for our ad placements, and that is about $100 a month, and that kind of boosts you in our listings. So for our total net income for the year, we are at $38,000 with an ROI of 128%. So for our second year, we project that we will gain about 25% growth year on year. So our total revenue is $826,000 for a total net income of $195,000. And for year 3, our total revenue is over $1 million, and our total net income is $386,000.
So with all that being said, here we hope that Farm to Phone will help local producers and their business get ahead. We want to thank you all for coming, and we'll now open the floor to any questions. Yeah?
Yeah, so we are not someone who, transactions are not done through our platform. Basically, it's listings. So producers can post their listings, and then people within their area can see them. Then they can reach out to them on our platform and communicate with them, and then they kind of organize the terms of the sale, basically. So for us, it's mostly we're just kind of a promotional platform. Does that answer your question? Yes, Starla? Yeah, so for younger people, we probably get them through places like TikTok and Instagram because Facebook isn't popular with those demographics, but Facebook is more popular with that older demographic. So that we think that in terms of our online marketing, that is where we would attract that older audience. And I guess our thing is we do want to attract all age groups, but we also want to attract the group that uses technology already, that they use online platforms, they're familiar with them. So we're not really targeting people who don't have a smartphone. They're still using a flip phone. That's not really our target demographic. Does that answer your question? Yes. Yeah, so we basically, our plan is we have a front-end developer, a back-end developer, we have an app developer, and then we have a UX and UI designer. So those are the people we're going to be hiring. And most of our expenses are for the payroll for those people, so that's kind of going to be our cost, essentially, for the platform. Yes, someone? Yeah, basically, so you basically pay us a fee, so I think it's $100 a month, and then basically you will get priority. But it's also free for producers if they don't want to pay for that. It's just kind of a way to where you can kind of maybe have your own product be an ad on our platform, if that makes sense. In the very back.
With Farm to Phone, we are strictly for food. Like Marketplace, you'll have everything, beds, couches, TVs. With Farm to Phone, it's just food, and it's local food. It's not like Walmart or grocery stores. It's homegrown foods that you'll find in greenhouses that people grow.
And basically, we are kind of a platform that's more tailored to Western Canada and local communities, and that's kind of our strength. We're more niche than something like Marketplace and Etsy. And we understand the needs of the agricultural community more than those platforms. Yeah. So the question was basically, I think, in the vein of there'll be kind of off months where revenue will be lower, and we do predict that there will be kind of lower months of revenue.
Next, we will have Morgan and Tess with Down to Dirt.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tess Verslice.
And I'm Morgan Taylor.
And we're the creators of Down to the Dirt. We're going to start things off with a quick video today.
That's when Morgan told me that milk does not come from the store, it actually comes from the cows.
I played volleyball for a couple of years, and Tess and Morgan just taught me that beef cattle don't only produce meat, but they also produce byproducts, just like the leather for this volleyball.
So this video just shows some of the education that would be possible through our company. So as I said, my name is Tess. I'd be the CEO of Down to the Dirt. I'm from Humboldt, Saskatchewan, and my family and I operate a grain farm.
As said before, I'm Morgan Taylor. I'm going to be the COO of Down to the Dirt. I am from Choiceland, Saskatchewan, where my family has a mixed farm.
So Morgan and I have both noticed on our own farms and our own experiences in industry that there's a growing disconnect between what people see in the store and the reality behind it. For example, this might just look like a bag of potato chips, but we see potatoes grown in the southern prairies. Or this simple tub of mayonnaise, which is actually Canadian grown and crushed canola. Or this, it might look like a nice cold drink on a hot summer day, but we see rising input costs and a race against the weather. And lastly, everything we just showed you starts right here at the dirt, which is why it's important that we advocate for it.
This is why we created Down to the Dirt. For our mission, we want to ensure everyone understands the importance of agriculture, and we envision a future where Education connects people to where their food comes from, fostering awareness of Canada's agricultural importance in everyday life. So to go over our business a bit, we're going to be serving the public. We're also going to reach the pre-K, K-12, and rural communities as well. We're going to be based out of Saskatchewan, as we will be in like a home office-based space. We will be working 5 days a week and all year round. We want to share real agricultural insights, as well as deliver hands-on learning opportunities through our farm tours and demo. So as I just mentioned, we are going to do farm tours. We're going to connect the public directly with farmers, as well as hands-on demonstrations. We're going to be explaining real-time activities. We're also going to have digital content and media, so we'll have stories and insights from farmers as well. We're going to be giving talks and assemblies, so giving the public clear information about agriculture. We're going to also have school programs and educational packages for fun and easy learning.
So to start up Down to the Dirt, we need a total investment of $16,000. $5,000 of this will be an owner investment by Morgan and I, and $11,000 will be financed. This startup cost covers our key investments, which includes a trailer, podcast equipment, and office supplies, and our cost structure is based on our home-based business model and the use of personal vehicles.
For marketing, we're going to align our content with the egg season. So we're going to have seeding, growing, harvest, and during the winter time. Our target audience for this, pre-K, K-12, teachers, as we've had a large demand for that, as well as communities. We're going to have a multi-channel approach, so we'll have our social media, our website, podcasts, and to reach people, we're going to have local outreach and hopefully the word of mouth. These are some examples of what our podcast would look like on Spotify, as well as our Instagram page.
So our finances. In the first year, we estimated our revenue to be $81,485, and with our expenses being $50,784. This leaves us with a profit of $30,737 that will be reinvested back into the company. This profit is based off of our sales projections. For context, our tour tickets are $50 and our demo tickets are $68. We expect to host 9 tours, meaning 315 tour kit tickets, and we expect to host 7 demos, meaning 455 demo tickets. Our ROIs, for the first year, we expect our ROI to be 192%, our second year 394%, and our third year 278%. Our third year shows a decline in the ROI because we've hired some additional employees in our projections.
We just want to thank everyone, and we hope we can expand your knowledge down to the dirt with us. We want to say thank you to our instructors for helping us, as well as our mentor. We'd like to open the floor to any questions. Yes. It's your return on investment. So, like, how much money you're making based on what you put in. Yes. So with Egg in the Classroom, they connect directly to like the teachers in the classroom. We want to give that outside experience just outside the classroom. We have demos and farm tours that can be really informational for most people, and also like some people do like home learning, homeschool. So we want to be able to reach those kids as well. We want to be able to give educational packages that would align with their curriculum.
To add to that, we're not just focusing on marketing towards kids, but maybe the people who missed that education when they were younger and now are looking for it as adults.
Yes.
We have come up with a list of our family farms and our industry connections that we're going to use to host these tours and demos on in the first years. And we're hoping that as our business expands and people hear about us through word of mouth, that more farmers and producers will want to sign up to help educate people about what they do. Darla? So we put max capacity on both our tour and our demo size limits just for safety and bio concerns, and these are between 30 and 40 depending on how much interest we have. Oh, Brayden?
I will be located out of Nipawin, Saskatchewan, and
I'll be out of Humboldt, Saskatchewan, but we're willing to travel all over Saskatchewan to help educate everybody.
thank you.
Next, we'll have Charlie and Caitlin with Farm Facts on Wheels.
Step into the story of agriculture right here at Farm Facts on Wheels. My name is Charlie Elzinga, and I am the CEO here at Farm Facts on Wheels. My job is to build relationships with schools, event organizers, and community groups to help secure bookings. I will also help with marketing. When the time comes, I will work closely alongside the head of education.
My name is Caitlin Sandham, and I am the CFO of Farm Facts on Wheels. My job is to take care of our financial needs, make sure our books are organized, and take care of our animals, ensuring proper feed and transportation safety. Farm Facts on Wheels is an interactive farm experience that comes directly to your community. We combine hands-on learning with education and friendly animals to educate people about agriculture and about animal care and farm life. We are located just outside of Alex, Alberta, and we plan to serve communities within a 4-hour radius of there, in a fun petting zoo style. Our mission is to spark curiosity and create unforgettable farm experiences that connect people with agriculture and the journey of their food from farm to table. Our vision is to transform how people see agriculture, making it widely understood, deeply valued, and proudly supported.
To start up Farm Facts on Wheels, we are going to need a loan of $30,000. Because our truck and trailer is gifted, we are going to focus our loan on the purchase of animals. We will be purchasing 2 highline cows, 2 sheep, 2 pigs, a couple bunnies, and a couple chickens. We will also focus some of our loan on supplies for events such as feed and watering systems, as well as veterinary costs to ensure our animals are healthy, giving customers the best experience. There is a gap between consumers and agriculture, and not everyone understands where their food comes from, how animals are raised, and the importance agriculture plays in our daily lives. With Farm Facts on Wheels, we are hoping to help narrow that gap and teach others the importance of agriculture.
Our target market is schools, primarily younger grades, as they are always looking for interactive educational experiences for their kids that fit within their curriculum. For example, a learning outcome that is common among young grades is animal life cycles. With the convenience of us traveling right to the schools don't have to worry about field trip transportation costs, meaning we are the perfect option. We will also serve daycares, community events and fairs, and be available for private bookings such as birthday parties.
Facebook and Instagram will be our main 2 sources of marketing as it directly connects with the customers. We will share photos, behind-the-scene footage of our animals, and event updates. We will also have an easy online website where customers can learn more about our services as well as easily book events. Word of mouth is also important as Farm Facts on Wheels is experience-based and happy customers are more likely to recommend us to a friend. On this slide, you can see that we offer 3 different categories. We offer personal, fairs and community events, as well as school events. Under each of these packages, it has its own sub-package. Education Package 1 includes animal care. Education Package 2 includes animal care and where consumer food comes from. Education Package 3 includes animal care, where consumer food comes from, and basic animal anatomy. On top of these prices, customers also have to pay an 80 cents per kilometer travel fee, as it costs us 65 cents per kilometer to travel.
Here are our projected ROI and net income values for the first 3 years of our business. We calculated our ROI based on our initial investment, and the fluctuation of our ROI is due to the loan proceeds contributing to cash inflow in the first year and not the second, as well as increases in expenses in a growth phase in our second year, like travel costs with more expected bookings, as well as in year 2, we are going to start drawing a wage from our business. However, in year 3, the ROI comes back up to 53%, and our net income steadily increases each year, showing that our business is profitable as it grows and gives us reason to believe that our ROI will continue to improve. We hope that after a visit from Farm Facts on Wheels, you leave with more than just memories, but you leave with an understanding. Thank you for your time this afternoon, and we would now like to open the floor to any questions. Yes? So the question was that we mentioned our truck and trailer was gifted, and he asked where we're keeping our animals as well. And my parents generously offered to donate a truck and trailer to our business, and so we included that in our owner's contribution in our initial investment. And our animals, we're paying $200 to my parents to rent their barn and to rent a small section of pasture. Does that answer your question? Yes? Yeah, so the question was, do we think we align with another business like Tess and Morgan before us, or with Egg in the Classroom? And yeah, we definitely think that after both businesses established, it could definitely be an option in the future.
Morgan and Tess also agree on that.
Any other questions? Yeah, in the top. So the question was, do we have any concerns about diseases spreading between the animals or the customers? And to minimize those risks, we plan on working closely with our veterinarians, ensuring our animals are properly vaccinated, as well as having sanitation stations before and after contact with our animals. So the question was, with our 4-hour radius from our home base, is that going to grow in the future? And it's definitely something we'll look into, but for the first 3 years, we're just going to keep that 4 hours. Sorry, there's one more question I'll answer quickly. So the question was, how do we avoid excess stress on our animals when we're traveling so much? And Charlie mentioned earlier in our presentation that we have multiple of each animal, so each animal is not coming on every trip, if that answers your question. So the question was, in a petting zoo kind of scenario, do we have any concerns about explaining to children where the food comes from? And yes, we have thought about that, and how in our educational presentations, we don't directly say what happens to the animals. However, we do explain the products that you get from these animals. And if any questions arise on how that
is happening. We will answer it with honesty and transparency and talk about how we care for farmers care for their animals the best they can, as that's how they get the best products.
Okay, let's give another round of applause to all the students who have gone so far. Now we are going to have a quick 10-minute intermission so you guys can stretch your legs, and we'll reconvene at 3:25. Start go. Okay, everybody, we're going to get started again. Next up, we have Callie and Nicole with Prairie Butcher Co.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nicole Wolf.
And I'm Callie Hope.
And we are the minds behind Prairie Butcher Co. Growing up in a farming community, we both witnessed firsthand the challenges local livestock producers face when getting their products processed. For these challenges include long wait times to get into these processing shops, sometimes of over a year, and also some of these processors being located over an hour and a half away. That's what inspired us to create Prairie Butcher Co., to not only support our local Mornin area economy, but also the local farmers and ranchers that we all rely on. Our goal is to add value at every step, from your farm to our cutting boards, back to your dinner table. I would also like to introduce Mr. Sirloin, our quality control officer, who is here for moral support and to make sure our presentation is up to his highest standards today. He is very ready for summer, in case, just like all of us, I assume, after this long winter.
So for our business, we are operating out of Morin, Alberta. We're mainly focusing on beef, bison, and pork for our first couple of years. We're offering custom meat cutting that's helping local producers. We're going to operate 4 days a week, Monday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Majority of the time will be beef processing, so the 2 to 3 weeks out of the month, and then there'll be certain weeks dedicated to bison and pork because they do require special supervision. The hanging times is 11 to 20 days for beef and bison, and then 4 for pork.
For our project need, we will require a $230,000 capital investment, and we will provide an owner contributions of roughly $75,000 and ask for a loan for the rest. This capital investment will cover our facility setup costs, purchasing equipment, and operating expenses as we get started. We will also need to connect with local producers and consumers to help get our business going, because they will be our main clientele. And we'll also need to find reliable butchers to hire, since neither Kaylee or I have any experience in that industry.
So for our target audience, like I said earlier, it'll be beef, bison, and pork for the first year, and then our first 3 years, and then we'll branch out to wild game. We put the age demographic as 18 to 65, not saying that older generations can't process their meat, but that's the main people that we see right now. And then we're also aiming for local and rural consumers in that Morin area. So this picture right beside me here shows what our product is gonna look like and what you take to your house. The picture on the far side is our website. It's pretty basic. So you can book with us up to 18 months in advance. And then if you are interested, you could look at where or why we created this company. And then this is a post that we'll post on Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform when we have finished our renovations at our plant and are ready to accept customers. It just shows you where you can go, who you can phone, all that.
This is a quick overview of our 3-year financial projections. In our first year, we have a net loss of just over $20,000 due to high startup costs and expenses in the first year. In the second year, you can see a significant improvement of a net income of expected about $45,000. And then in year 3, you can see another improvement up to, as we increase our income to $84,000. We have increased our income as we, each year, we expect to gain more producers and consumers that are using our business.
So for our yearly projections, we are estimating that in the 3-week time frame for beef, we are producing 9 animals a week for beef, and then 14 for pigs and 8 for bison in our first year. We do expect to grow in our second year to be able to produce more. Not saying that we can't produce more as is, but since we are a startup company, we are expecting to have low amount of customers right now.
Thank you everyone for listening to our presentations, and to our mentor Jackson Ames for helping us with our presentation and answering all of our questions. We will now take any questions from the audience. Yep. There's a lot of regulations required, so we'll be a provincially inspected facility. We'll also need to get permits and stuff from Starland County to open our business in the county. Yep. No, every producer will be able to fill out a specific cut sheet so they can say what they want, like how they want their animal cut. Yep. The question was if we'd expand our processing, and we hope to in years, like later years. The thing is, those aren't inspected animals, so we'd have to shut down we couldn't be able to do other inspected processing during that time. There's very limited competition in this area. The nearest processing facility is about an hour and a half away, and local producers have a very hard time booking into these facilities, having to book like a year and a half in advance for their animals. Yeah. Yeah, any meat that you bring in you'll always make sure you get your animals back. So pickup will be the 4 days a week, and delivery for bringing animals in will always be on Wednesdays evenings, and then our slaughter days will be Thursdays. It's just so, yeah. Yep. Yes. Yeah, so we'll look for people that have gone to school or have worked in industry for a long time to hire.
Next, we will have the Mobile Horse Care by Daly, Michaela, and Makaya.
For owners who have ranch horses or rodeo horses or sport horses in general, they aren't just animals, they're investments, athletes, and your partners. This is why keeping them at peak performance requires consistent, specialized care. As for horse owners ourselves, we recognize that managing or booking multiple service providers is time consuming and inefficient when you're on the road for rodeo events.
So this is our team. I'm Daly Storley.
I'm Michaela Bjornson.
I'm Micaiah Dawson.
So our business is a mobile horse business that provides grooming, farrier, and chiropractor directly to horse owners. We will make horse care more convenient by providing multiple services in one visit, while also improving horse health and reducing stress.
So for our project need, as for 3 of our partners, equally we are contributing 10 grand each. As for 50-50 commitment, we ask for a $30,000 operating loan, which we will use to cover farrier and chiro education, as well as supplies for farrier and grooming, and payments for our mobile van.
Our mission is to provide high-quality equine care with highlighting convenience across Saskatchewan, and our vision is to become the #1 mobile horse care service in Saskatchewan, with hopes to expand to the Albertan market in future years.
So our business offers 3 different services. The first one is a grooming service, and with that we offer brushing and coat care, mane and tail cleaning, bathing horses, and keeping horses clean and healthy. Our second one is farrier service, and we will have hoof trimming, horseshoeing, and checking hoof health. And then for our third one, we will have chiropractor service, which will have adjustments to improve movement, helps with pain and stiffness, and will improve the horse's performance.
For our marketing, we want to make it as convenient as we can for horse owners, and that's why we have an all-in-one service. Our methods of marketing are going to include networking within the industry, agricultural trade shows, social media, as well as demos showcasing our work. And our main point of social media that we will be using to market our business will be Facebook. And we are based out of Weyburn, Saskatchewan, and we plan to go all over Saskatchewan. The service packages we offer are an all-inclusive package with all 3 in one stop, and that's about $300 per animal. And then our second one would be $200 per horse, and you can mix and match between the 3 different services.
So our financial overview. So starting off strong, we have for year 1 is just over 100,000, and then year 2 is 202,000, and then year 3 is 296,000. The first year ROI is 19.53%, and slightly decreasing in the second year, and so on for the third year, just as we are investing more into going farther places and expanding to more mobile vans.
So our first competitive advantage is that we are a mobile service, so we will come to you and there's no need for you to haul your horses. Our second one is that we are an all-in-one service, having groomer, farrier, chiropractor done in one trip. And we also think that this will be more efficient for our customers. And then our third one is that it is better for horse health. With not having to haul, we feel that this will reduce stress on your horses. And our last one is time saving and convenient. Since it's a all-in-one service, it'll save you time not having to book with other farriers and chiropractors, and more convenient because it's getting all done in one day. And we also think that this will be good for remote areas. Sorry.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes? So the services will be done each like separate individually, but are roughly 2 to 3 hours depending on like for grooming, like we offer like different braidings and or washing. So I guess depends how dirty they are or how sore the horses is for chiro. So it varies. Yes. Yes, by the kilometers, so that's contributed into our pricing. Yes. Well, we each equally are getting, so monthly,
It kind of depends after every service. Like, we're all getting paid differently. Like, if chiropractor does work that day, then the chiropractor person's getting paid. And, like, same with all the other ones. Does that answer your question?
So, yes, I will be taking the chirotherapy courses, and
I'll be taking the farrier courses as well. I would be looking into doing farrier workshops and stuff like that, like clinics, to get knowledge from other farriers as well.
yes. So depending on like how far we're traveling, we'd recommend like making sure we have booked areas like for more horses, so it's worth our time.
Also, Bevan, we could as well. We could be doing social media or other things while we're there, and not doing actual work with horses. Braden. Yeah, I think we definitely would. It'd be kind of like, and that'd be a conversation you'd have depending on how many horses, what services you're wanting, but like if we were going to like barns and doing multiple horses at a time, we would do it at a discounted rate.
Darla?
Yes. Well, like where we're gonna be, like coming out of from, there's lots of people that will need like be booking and stuff. Like my family, we have like 30 horses to do, but it's hard to book like one person at a time. So yeah, I feel like there'll be lots where we're coming out of.
And we also go to like events like rodeos and even 4-H clubs, like, so we'll get the young kids involved that way. Yes. That's a good question. We will invest more money in our accounting fees.
Next, we have Sweet Calf Co. with Denise, Brenna Joe, and Haley.
Good afternoon, everybody. To my right, Haley is holding a bag of frozen colostrum from the DLC here at the college. Colostrum is vital for calves to have a good start, and so many farms use this and freeze their excess colostrum to use when in need. But there are some disadvantages. First of all, unthawing colostrum bags like this can take a while, and farming is busy, so it's not always an efficient way to go about it. Also, while unthawing, it opens the door for lots of bad bacteria to start growing in your colostrum. Another option that producers use is buying colostrum from the store. Denise is holding a bag from the Saskatoon Colostrum Company. They're the largest suppliers in Canada. This is quick and easy, but oftentimes can come at a large cost. Our company, Sweet Calf Co., can solve some of these problems for farmers. And today we'd like to tell you more about it. Starting with our team. My name is Brenna, and I'm in charge of operations and day-to-day at our shop.
I'm Haley. I'm in charge of the marketing and social media for the company.
And my name's Denise. I'm in charge of finance and bookkeeping for Sweet Calf Co.
So here are some of the things we're going to talk about with you today. Starting with our business overview. Sweet Calf Co. is an Alberta-based company that aims to benefit the agriculture industry by partnering with dairy farms to provide a reliable and affordable powdered colostrum. When a dairy joins our program, they commit to collecting all their excess colostrum for us to pick up every 6 weeks and use. In exchange, they're given the choice of either 30% of all liters given back to them in their own farm's colostrum powdered, or a similar payment. All colostrum not given back to the original producer is then capitalized by Sweet Calf Co. and sold to other customers. We understand how important a calf's first feed is, so our process is simple and our product is purely cow. We don't add anything extra, we just test, pasteurize, and powder.
So then we'll move on to a little customer ID. So our main customer target audience here is our dairy and beef farmers. So we collect all of the colostrum from the dairy farmers, and then the beef and dairy farmers both can purchase it. And then on top of that, we have vet clinics and other ag retailers such as UFA, Co-op Agro, or Irvine's that we are able to market through because SCCL is one of the only companies in Canada or the world that does this type of thing. So then a little bit about the marketing. We have a very direct relationship with our customers at Pickup. As well, we're partnering with ag retailers, so we need to make sure that we're really keeping those strong relationships there. Through our website and social media platforms, we get to connect with producers as well as promote our sales and increase our brand awareness. And then we also have a lower cost other products. So typically it's like $25 or above for a bag of powdered colostrum. We have ours marketed at just $20 a bag. As well, farmers do receive their own colostrum back. And we know that they would enjoy this because we were able to do a survey through Alberta Milk. So through this survey, we got 23 responses. And just on the right side of the screen there, you see the first 12 farms and what they do with their excess colostrum. So 10 of the 23 farms send it to SCCL, 14 freeze the excess, 4 farms dump the excess. While 70% of these farms have not looked at other options, 18% would have interest and 52% said they would maybe.
All right, now on to some project need. So these are the key things we would require to successfully launch Sweet Calf Co. First, we would need a refrigerated van to collect and deliver colostrum. We would also have renovations as we are converting an existing shop into our own processing facility. We would also need our core equipment, which are pasteurizers, freeze dryers, a walk-in freezer for storage. We would also need licensing and certifications as this is a regulated product in Canada, and a website for sales. So due to these startup costs, we would be seeking $150,000 from investors, and in return, we would offer equity, which is completely negotiable, to allow them to receive benefits from our future profits. And then on this side, we have our finances, which shows how Sweet Calf Co. is projected to perform over the next 3 years, with a focus on net income and return on investment. So for the first year, we projected that 15 farms would be participating, which would result in $66,882 in net income and 37.20% return on investment. So we think this is really good, as it's good to generate revenue while still establishing the business. And by year 2, we see a decrease in net income into $44,405, and return on investment also decreases to 20.10%. However, this is mainly due to higher operating costs as our business grows, especially in wages, as we plan on hiring 1 employee to improve our efficiency. And by year 3, we see a major improvement as net income increases to about $165,000, and ROI also increases to 69.20%. So at this time, we see major improvements in efficiency, and we project that more farms will be participating as well.
By turning surplus colostrum into a safe, affordable, and high-quality product, we create value where it could otherwise be wasted. Our collection and return model puts producers first, providing flexibility and confidence in their own product. At the same time, we open the door for other livestock producers to access quality colostrum at a more reasonable price. Sweet Calf Co. strives to be sustainable, efficient, and aims to put producers first at every level.
So first, we'd like to thank everybody here for coming out, along with our instructors and also our mentor, Marissa, for helping us out and supporting us all throughout this year. Do we have any questions?
Yes, that's what we would like to do. The question was if we take liquid colostrum and turn it into powder, which we would do. Right there, the white hat.
So we would be, without investors, we would be assuming we're getting a loan, because first we would be needing the refrigerated van, which is $53,900 if I remember it correctly, and then licensing and certifications would be around $5 to $10 grand. We would also have freeze dryers, and the core equipment we mentioned, those would be around 20 to 30 grand, which would take over that $150,000 we are seeking.
Just to add to that a little bit, this is also an already built shop. So Brenna's family does own this shop and we are renting it from them. So it's not like major renovations. We don't have to build a building. It is already there. It's just minor renovations that we have to do to start the business up.
So for the first year, we wouldn't be taking out, first 2 years, we wouldn't be paying ourselves. We see the company paying us wages in the third year, and we would only be taking 30 grand, which is like 10 grand for each of us. And then, yeah, we would still have our full-time jobs.
Marissa? So in our calculations, we would just pay them 30% of what their colostrum is worth. Similar to, we'd give them 30% of liters back of how much powdered colostrum that would be. And so if they didn't want the powdered colostrum, they would get a payment worth the same amount of their powdered that we'd get from their liters. Does this answer your question?
We're going to try to stay in Alberta for as long as we can. But as the business does grow and expand, we are planning on kind of dipping into Saskatchewan and BC a little bit, as long as all the regulations and everything allow us to. So the survey we did was actually from Alberta Milk. So those were answers that we got directly from the farmers. So we do know, like, from those 23 responses, we had quite a few that did say that this would be absolutely something they would be interested in. So we do know that this is a viable company. And also there might also be an option that they could bring it to us if need be.
To add to that, we do, in our thing, it's Alberta colostrum. Dairy farms produce all year round colostrum because they're calving all year round. So that should, if we have enough farms to be making money, I mean, that's what we want, right? So there should be consistent colostrum. Yeah, good question. So I guess what SweetCalf does, I come from a dairy farm. We send our colostrum actually to Saskatoon, but we have colostrum all year round, and so my dad buys colostrum, and it's expensive, and so why shouldn't there be a way that we could keep our own without having to unthaw it? Like, really, you could still keep your own unthaw it, but if you send it to us, we're going to give it back to you. It's your own product, and it's powdered and ready to go, so that's just a lot easier and quicker than freezing your own, and it's also pasteurized, which is protecting it from some of those bacteria that could grow.
Next, we'll have Cadence and Kieran with J&R Financial.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before we get started with our presentation today, we'd like to play a quick game of He's a 10 But. So, Kieran, she is a 10, but her cattle operation is underfunded.
Yikes. Guys, what do we think she is? Ooh. So, Cadence, he's a 10, but refinancing is always his solution. What is he?
Ladies?
Yikes. This is why we came up with J&R Finance, for those who are 2s and 3s. I'm Kieran Rajat, and I'm the finance manager.
My name's Cadence Jackson, and I'm the marketing manager. Our mission for this company is to support Alberta and Saskatchewan cattle producers by providing them flexible and reliable third-party financing that reflects the realities of ranching. Our vision for this company is to build a strong and enduring lending company by understanding the realities that these farmers face while working alongside their operations as well.
So what we offer, we have a breeder loan along with a feeder loan. So whether you're a young producer looking out to start your first cow herd or just looking to expand on your already existing operation, we're proud to offer the Breeder Finance Program. This program empowers cattle producers to advance their operation and their cow base while maintaining that financial and operational stability. On the feeder side of things, this loan is tailored to producers that are looking to background their own calves or grow out and purchase through approved auction barns.
So availability for funding would allow these producers to focus on their day-to-day costs as well as invest in their cattle, and also take advantage of the markets when they're good to expand their business. Producers need flexible financing and financing that they can rely on because cattle operations and timelines now are always changing, so it'd be a good idea to have.
So for our 3 marketing goals, first up we have is build customer trust and loyalty. We'll just do this by providing a reliable service along with creating industry relations. Our second goal is to increase our brand awareness. We'll do this by going to ag shows like Agribusiness and Farm Fair, along with other farm shows in Western Canada. We'll also do this by having sponsorships in local communities and targeted marketing on Meta. Our third goal is to grow loan applications. We'll do this by looking for qualified leads, using marketing, digital marketing, and just having a clear message about our finance options.
So our service combines with strong industry-specific knowledge. See, my partner here grew up on a decent-sized cow-calf operation where he has experience in background steers, breeding heifers, and as well as replacement heifers. So we offer fast and flexible financing that outplaces traditional banks, as well as our tailored specific loan solutions such as our breeder and feeder loans, which are specifically designed for watching cash flow cycles and different sizes of farms as well. This process takes away the red tape process and speeds up approvals and also builds producers' confidence while also getting personalized knowledge support.
So lastly, we'll just have a quick look at our financials here. So that 14 there is actually split up between the breeder and the feeder loan, just to make things easier. So the first year, our ROI was 15%. And on the breeder loan, we projected there'd be 5 customers, and on the feeder loan, that there'd be 10. For year 2, we bumped up to 120%, and we increased our lending proceeds by $1 million each on each loan. And we also increased our breeder customers up to 7, and on the feeder, it just stayed the same. For year 3, we went up to 150 on our ROI, and it once again increased our lending proceeds. Then we also increased on the feeder loan up to 12 customers, and on the breeder up to 9.
So we'd like to say thank you to all of you for coming out, and we'll now open the floor to questions.
You in the middle.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that was a long question. I may not repeat it, but where we're getting the money, I guess, is through FCC, and you'd put up, I guess, land or money for a letter of credit to get them to lend you money. And then on the risk side of things, all cattle have to be branded with our JNR financial brand. So if things do go south, we can technically take the cattle. Does that help? Yeah, if yes. Eventually, as of right now, no, but yep, there. So how long is the loan and what is the interest? Is that okay? So the loan. So we use JGL as our mentor, and their max year was 5 years loan on breeder, and interest, I guess, would be kind of, it's not a fixed rate. On feeder, it's 2% over FCCs, I guess. Yes, Darla. So who is our targeted demographic and why are they not going to FCC? This could be young producers, I guess, and old ones that who like may not trust or feel comfortable with FCC. Maybe they feel there's a disconnect between knowing what the producer actually wants or needs.
Next, we will have Clara and Paris with Settlers Seed Co.
Who knows what the world will come to within the next few years? We just may have to go back to basics. But you don't know how or where to start? Well then, boy, do we have the solution for you. Here at Settlers Seed Co., we have developed a product that provides both the supplies and the knowledge that you need to get back to the basics.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paris.
And I'm Clara.
And together we manage, own, and operate Settlers Seed Co., based out of Brotherheim, Alberta. I'm the marketing manager, so that includes social media management, as well as creating our guidebooks for our seed kits. And Claire's the finance manager, doing all the bookkeeping and managing loans for the business.
According to some employees at garden stores, they have recently seen an uptick in the purchase of both seeds and gardening supplies. This is for several reasons. Firstly, people are becoming more critical of the food they buy in a store, starting to wonder where their food comes from. Secondly, as I'm sure we all know, groceries are becoming continually more expensive. In response to this, people are turning to gardening to both lower the cost of food and increase their trust in the source. This niche is where our product fits. Our company mission is to provide Canadians with quality garden seed and guides to support them in growing and storing their own food. Through this, we hope to fulfill our vision of connecting Canadians to their pioneer roots, spreading the use of traditional methods to grow and store food to create a shift towards self-sustainability.
So our company creates seed kits and guidebooks specific to these seed kits. So we have 6 different kits to choose from, as well as the option to make a fully customizable kit and just purchase a guidebook separately. To the right there, that is our signature kit, the Pioneer Kit. It includes 8 basic, hearty, and easily storable vegetables, grains, and tubers. In the guidebook, there is tips and tricks on how to grow the produce as well as store it, recipes, and then for this specific guidebook, we included the process of making flour.
So if you've ever wondered where your food came from, maybe wish you could spend a little bit less on groceries, or simply just wanted to be less reliant on others, then our product is for you. We appeal to those who want to be more self-sufficient, those who realize they need to take a step back and learn a little bit more about the old ways in this fast-paced world. Now, this can also appeal to specifically the younger generation, those who have lost that skill of growing and storing their own food and, as my brother would say, couldn't make it through the winter if they tried. Now, this can also appeal to a different demographic as well, people who are already avid gardeners and simply want the convenience of our kits to avoid the tedious seed selection process, maybe learn a little bit more about storage or recipes, or just maybe access some high-quality heritage seeds.
So how are we going to get the word out? As Clara mentioned, we are targeting that younger demographic. So we're going to do that through social media. That's our main form of marketing. By promoting through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, we will hit that younger demographic as well as some of the older ones. And then to hit our recurring customers, get them coming back, we are going to send out newsletters as well as seasonal offers through our website here on the left. Now, we are asking for a $100,000 loan to start up our company. This will be for our greenhouse, the land, as well as a storage shed for all of our packaging. In the first year, we will need to purchase the land as well as the greenhouse and a storage shed. Additional costs will be our utilities, as well as a laptop to do all our business on, and all initial costs. Now, Claire and I both will be investing $5,000 into the company, so that's a grand total of $110,000 of initial investment. Now we'll dive into the finances here. So in the first year, we have a net loss of just over $9,000. That's just because of all the startup costs. But however, by year 3, we have a net profit of just under $20,000. The ROI was calculated using that $110,000 and all profit to date. It's also worth to note that in year 5, our greenhouse will be totally paid off, so that will decrease our cash. That'll decrease our cash outflows by $26,000 in the following years.
The world is changing faster and faster. And in the uncertainty that change brings, Canadians are looking for something that they can do for themselves to create a little bit of stability and a little bit of control. Settlers Seed Co. exists to meet that need by pairing quality guidebooks with seeds in order to give Canadians the skills to go back to the traditions of generations past of growing and storing food. In this way, we hope to establish a business that will support Canadians in taking one step back to the basics, enabling them to step forward into a more self-sufficient future. We are Settlers Seed Co., and we're ready to grow.
We want to thank all of you guys for coming out today, and we'd like to open the floor to any questions. Yes, in the back there. Sorry, can you say that again? How much are our seed packs going to cost you?
Well, let's go back to our specific product prices here, as long as my clicker works. This will give you an idea of what each of these actually will cost you. So we don't sell individual seed packs. If you want specific or customized seed packets, specific things that you want in your kit for your garden, that'll be included in the custom kit, which reflects a higher price just because of the specifics that go into that. Let's go, Braden, right there.
So your initial startup cost $100,000.
So we researched a couple different types of greenhouses. We researched a poly film greenhouse as well as a poly panels sort of greenhouse, which is what we decided to do with. We went on specific stuff. We sort of discussed on a few different sizes of greenhouse that we were looking for based on square footage and the amount of customers that we estimated. We decided to go with a certain greenhouse size out of those poly sheets because it'll last closer to 5 to 10 years rather than the 3 to 5 that the poly film is supposed to last. So that'll give us sort of a longer term established greenhouse and something that fits our needs and our expected customers. Does that answer your question? This is going to be on an undeveloped lot in Bruderheim, Alberta. This was just where we could find something that was both a lot of the size we needed and somewhere where we could get utilities too. And up there? So as our competition, people finding substitutes for our specific seed kits? Yeah, okay, so this is where we're really going to have to emphasize our competitive advantage and really focus on that marketing aspect of, in the conditions of the world right now, this is what people need to get back to. People need to learn these skills. People need to be a little bit more self-sufficient rather than relying on going to the grocery store every time. So in order to get over that, we're really going to try to emphasize our competitive advantage in that way. Does that make sense to you? Well, so the question was, in case anybody didn't hear, about how why people wouldn't just Google or search these specific tactics rather than buying our guidebook. Now, again, this is just a little bit similar to that last question I answered in the niche that we have, where when you search something up on the internet, there's no guarantee, especially with the rise of AI, there's no guarantee on the information you're getting. So what we do is instead we take real life practical things. So for example, on my family runs, we bought a small flour grinder that cost us a good amount, but we got it because we want to be able to do those things ourselves. And I think that sort of value, like if you just look that up, people might, you might not get the specific information that you need, whereas we will be providing real stories and real information from sources that aren't just necessarily the wide world that is the internet. Okay, so in the first 3 years that we've projected here, we have not shown ourselves taking out a salary. This is just because we hope to be able to balance the operations of the greenhouse on top of a regular 9-to-5 job. However, in the future, as it grows, and maybe as we start to feel out how many customers we have, we may start to take out a salary in maybe the 4th or 5th year. But as far as the 3 years that we've shown here, we have not shown ourselves taking out a salary. It might change after 5th year, again, when that loan payment has stopped and we are good to go on that front. We have a couple extra dollars to throw around in the business, but as of now, no salary taken out. So we have chosen to grow all of our seeds in our greenhouse. Now, for the first few years, obviously, certain things, especially the biennial crops, we will not be able to collect seeds on the first year, so we wouldn't be able to sell our product. So in the first year, we are actually buying seeds from another company in order to create our packages and just sort of start to get the word out and stuff. And then as we hit second year, third year, such as that, we are going to actually start to use our own seeds, but we will be doing all the seed production ourselves.
Next, we will have Chase, Deepak, and Shaylin with Grit and Grain Apparel.
So most of us come from an agriculture background, so does we. And because of that, we come with the grit and grain. We all know the lifestyle and the struggles of a farmer. And to make some changes, we come with the Grit and Grain. It's an apparel company. We make hoodies, hats, and we donate 5% to the farmers' mental health. So let's get started. So my name is Deepak. I come from a grain farm in India, and I'm handling the production and supply in the Grit and Grain.
Hello everyone, my name is Chase Workington. I live outside of Lakeland, Saskatchewan, where I work on a mixed farm. We do organic farming and have a small cattle operation. And if you guys know, like all those two operations, they have a lot of risks, and a lot of risk come a lot of mental health issues.
I am Shaylin O'Hare. I'm from Kidscotty, Alberta, and I come from a mixed operation. And in Grit and Grain, I am the finance person. And just to kind of add on to what Chase said about farmers' mental health, coming from a mixed operation, you get to see the busy seasons and the stresses that come along with those busy seasons. And farmers are probably some of the people who have the strongest mental health, but need the most help.
So it's a agriculture-inspired clothing brand. Our goal is simple: create apparel that represent the farming lifestyle while also giving back to the farmers. What makes us different, as we mentioned, that we are donating 5% of our profits to the AgNo. It's a Alberta-based NGO that supports farmers by giving them therapists, resources, help. So whenever we start any brand, we face many challenges, so does we. And these are some challenges we faced when we started it. So first one is highly competitive. So market is so competitive. There are already well-recognized brands that has a loyal customer base. So because of our purpose-driven method, we think we can make a change. And the second one is supply chain. So because all our products are coming from different suppliers, it can be delayed, pricing issues, and availability issues. So our approach is, we focused on creating a brand that tells a story. Each design represents work, resilience, and lifestyle of a farmer. We are committed to giving back. That creates trust and meaning behind every purchase. Our goal for customers is not just wear our clothes, but to feel proud of what it represents. Overall, our approach combines style, purpose, and impact.
Okay, Grit and Grain's main market is Canadian farmers and ranchers of all ages, because Grit and Grain supports farmers. So our inventory is going to include hoodies that are priced at $65, hats that are priced at $45, and t-shirts priced at $35, with custom designs going all the way to $25. Our hats are priced under the industry average for your average clothing, and by doing this, we have a higher sales projected. So this is our hoodies. We have white and black with a front logo and a back design with a little quote. These are our hats. We got white and black with stitched embroidered front logo of Grit and Grain, and our t-shirt with front and back designs. Our custom design options lets our consumers choose their color, logos they want to put on hats, as well as custom lettering, and prices could differ depending on what you select. Our marketing strategies, so we're going to market through social medias like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook to reach all age categories, as well as farm events and cattle shows, and word of mouth by using good customer service and by supporting farmers' mental health. We hope that our buyers will recommend our product to other buyers.
Grid and Grain Apparel operates as a small online-based business out of Vermilion. We focus on agricultural clothing. Each month we place bulk orders with our suppliers, as this helps reduce our cost per unit and improve profit margins. We store and manage inventory ourselves, as most of our sales are throughout our website. But we will also attend agricultural events such as Agribusiness and Farm Fair to directly connect with customers. Our daily operations include managing inventory, filling orders, handling customer questions, and managing our social media. Looking at our financial statement for year one, we are projecting our total sales to be around $87,150. Our cost of goods sold is $43,290, which leaves us with a gross profit of $43,860. After our operating expenses of $43,649, we have a net profit of $211. Even though this is a small profit, it's expected in the first year. Our main goal is to build brand awareness, grow our customer base, and reinvest into the business for future growth. Our ROI for year one is 3.5%, with expected growth in year two and year three. Year two ROI is around 33%, with year three at 83%. Looking at our cash flow, we started our business with a $6,000 owner investment, which is $2,000 for each of us. Throughout the year, we generated $93,150 total cash inflow, mainly from sales. Our total cash outflows were $91,267, which includes inventory expenses and our 5% donation per sale. This leaves us with a positive ending cash balance of $1,854. We also have no debt, which puts the business in a strong and stable financial position. On top of that, we are donating 5% of all sales to support farmers' mental health, which connects our financial success back to our mission.
So as she told you, we directly support the local farmers. So that means by purchasing our products, you're not only looking stylish, you're also helping a farmer somewhere in Canada who's putting their blood and sweat in the ground just to put your bread on the table.
Grid and Grain has a high growth potential, and this is because we are doing something different than other clothing companies by giving back to farmers. So this makes our company different from the others.
Overall, Grit and Grain Apparel is more than just a clothing brand. It's a business with a purpose. Not only are we creating a profitable and sustainable company, but we are also giving back and supporting farmers' mental health. With strong growth potential and a clear purpose-driven mission, we believe this business can make a real impact for the agricultural community.
Before we answer questions, while we're answering questions, there's a QR code up here on the board. If you scan it, you can be entered to win one of our Grid and Grain Apparel hats. Any questions?
So we are donating to a charity called Ag Now. So basically, we will be sending them the money, and then through their services, it's just supporting that charity.
Yeah. There's therapists that go through them. There's therapists, and there's research that they do on the mental health aspect of farming too. So yeah, they will consult a therapist, and they'll get you someone to talk to if you are having problems.
I researched other clothing brands to get a kind of industry average. We also used a supplier called Printify to get our base costs, and our operating expenses. Like, I had to search up what booths cost at Agribusiness and Farm Fair, fuel prices, what the cost of renting a trailer would be, and basically just using industry averages for everything.
So we're buying, so like hats are priced around, so we're selling them for 45, but what we can buy them on, the website we use is Printify, is 25. So we got a $20 profit, but then we take 5% of that profit and send it to Ag Now for farmers' mental health. So we're not making a huge gain, but in a way, we're thinking of getting more, we're getting out there more by doing some good and giving back. So we'll make more sales.
So, so basically, how I had to do it when I was making the cash flow was it was quarterly. So the total profit from each quarter, that's what it was taken off of, or else we would be spending all day, every day, tracking the individual orders, taking the 5% off, and in the end, it all adds up to the same number.
I also think that it would more be individual sales because we're making high quality clothing, right? So, and we got cool designs and stuff like that. Like, we want customers to not only buy our clothes because of our mission, but also because it's high quality and it's something that they can wear and other people will like and also buy. Brayden?
So I think for the first couple of years, we want our own brand to be the one selling it, just to really get our story and why we're creating this company through. And then maybe in years 4 and 5, we can reach out to retail stores, or even if we have enough of a customer base, start up a couple of our own.
Yeah, another point on that. I actually did kind of get the idea from Ten Tree, like how they plant 10 trees. So I thought maybe we should do some farming. That's why we came up with this plan. But another thing with that is, like, if we sell our own products and we're giving 5% of the profit to Ag Now, it might be harder to do when we go to retails, right? That's more traceability, and it also is a more big expense on bookings and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, we were looking into that, and by buying it off Printify, so they store and they also print logos onto our products, and because we went with them, we don't have to buy storage and all these equipment, so we cut down on operation costs.
As well, this is not our full-time job. We will be working another job. This is just kind of like a side hustle. So by manufacturing our own, it would take up too much of our time.
Next, we have Carson and Sash with True North Feeds.
I have been on the phone for 3 hours and I've been waiting on you for 3 months. I just want to talk to someone. All I want to do is talk to someone. I'm sick of all these bots. What are you doing? Just come to my place and test my feed.
Hey, Caleb, what's up?
I'm sick of these damn nutritionists. I cannot get a hold of them. They're so lazy. All these excuses.
I know, I feel ya. But hey, I got just the thing for ya. We are True North Feeds. I'm Carson Baker, and I'm the finance manager.
I'm Sash Pratt, and I am the marketing manager.
True North Feeds is an app focused on helping cattle producers manage, plan, and track feed records. Our app is focused on helping Cattle producers adjust their rations based off inputted feeds that the cattle producer has put in, records, and what the cattle producer is looking to improve in their cattle herd. All this happens without calling a nutritionist out to the farm, which is saving producers time and money. Our app is focused on tracking feed inventory, health records, and is built to be a simple app that any farmer can pull out at any time of day and go through the app in a simple way out on the fly. We need $70,000 for our startup loan to build the app, as well as both Sash and I are putting in $10,000 each to help with the contribution of starting up the app.
This is our mission and vision statement. At its core, our goal is to provide farmers with a simple, easy-to-use nutrition tool. Every day, farmers are faced with the challenges of making decisions, time risks, and guesswork when it comes to their herd. That's why we came up with True North Feeds. We want to give farmers a tool that saves time, reduces guesswork, and makes them more confident. Looking at the bigger picture, we want to become an all-in-one tool that is trusted by modern farmers all across Canada. We want to give them a tool that is easy, as well as farming industry changes every day. So we want to give them a practical, easy-to-use tool that they use on their herd, and that is exactly our plan.
Our target audience is cattle producers in Western Canada. That includes cow-calf, feedlot, as well as small to mid-sized ranchers. Our app is built for busy farmers who are wanting to save time, money, and reduce food waste, as well as young farmers who are more comfortable with using the technology that is coming out nowadays and are looking for that tool to come back to their farm to improve efficiencies on their ranch.
These are our marketing tools. Our first one is trade shows, where we're going to focus on more. This way we can connect directly with producers. We can have real conversations and walk them through how the app works. Our next one is social media marketing. This is going to be our biggest one. This way we can reach and engage with producers all across the world. We're going to do this in two ways. We're going to get egg influencers to promote our product, as well as ourselves, where we use social media to also promote it. And lastly, we're going to attend colleges like Lakeland. This way we can get to the next generation and promote our product, and they can take it back to their operations. Our competitive advantages, which we think are very well, we start with the visual cattle analysis. So this allows farmers to take pictures or videos of their cow and put it into the app. The app will then come up with a feeding plan that they think the cow needs, and it will also tell what the animal is lacking. It also will keep this in inventory so the farmer can look back and see the amazing results. Our next one is Real Ranch Solutions. So we are built, like I said, for everyday farmers. We want a simple, practical, all-in-one tool for them to use. Our last one is Reduce Feed Waste. So we are making this plan so it matches feed to the amounts that the animal needs. It reduces feed waste and saves on feed costs as well.
Let's take a look at our finances. Our app is based off of two subscription plans. Our base model, which is $10 monthly, and our premium model, which is $15 monthly. When you compare this to what a real nutritionist is charging when they come out to your farm, it can be from anywhere from $100 to $300 based off of years of experience, plus mileage on top of that. So let's look at year one of our finances. We are projecting sales of $60,000 with an ROI of negative $120. This is negative because of our loan of the $70,000. When you get into year two, we have sale projections of just over $103,000 based off of 7,500 subscribers with an ROI of 109% and a net income just coming over $65,000. When you get into year three, we have sales projections of $139,000 based off of 10,000 subscribers with an ROI of 170% and a net income coming over just over $102,000. Looking at our growth plan, we're focused on building a strong foundation at first and then expanding our reaches and our capabilities over the years. Let's take a look at our short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. Short-term, we're looking to launch the app. We're looking to launch the app and focus on Western producers by offering free trials as well as going into social media to build awareness around our app. In midterm, we're expanding our app by adding new features as well as expanding into the US market as well as forming partnerships with other companies. And then our long-term goal is to become a leading tool in the agriculture industry, as well as expanding our app globally and becoming, and then creating a full management system into the app in the future years.
So why does True North Feeds matter? Farmers don't need more information. They want things that they can trust, that's faster, better, and more practical for their operation. That's why we created True North Feeds. It saves on cost, reduces feed waste, and all of this affects the bottom line, which is major these days for farmers. The app is designed by farmers for farmers. That is why it is most important, and we thank you all for listening. Now we'll open the floor to questions. So the feed is going to get sent into a lab where it's tested, and then it'll show the levels of everything, and then we can send that information through the app to the farmer so they can use it. Does that answer your question?
With that also, we're going to be partnered with a science lab so that everything like that can be done. With that demographic, it comes down to our marketing. When we go to trade shows and stuff like that, we're targeting those age of people because we know they're going to be there. So going to the trade shows is extremely important for that part of that. Does that answer your question?
They will just they just have to bag up a small portion of their feed and send it in, so it'll take all of 15 minutes for them. But yes, if they want accurate results, they will need to send it in because we don't know exactly the levels of their feed, so that's what we're going to need to base the rations off of.
Yeah, and we can work with them between app to make sure that it gets to where it has to go.
That'll be included in the app software that we're creating. It's not out on the market as I know of right now, so that'll be something new in our product. Does that answer your question? Darla? Yes, it does. I did research on it, and we made sure that we got software that doesn't just work with iPhone because lots of producers do use different. So we want every farmer to have the same opportunity to use our app. That's our dream. Yeah, that's our dream egg influencer. I didn't want to say it, but now that you said it, yeah. Any more questions?
Next, we have Collaborate with Abu and Kareem. Are you someone that wants food delivered right to your front door with perfectly portioned ingredients for the meal that you're cooking with the comfort of knowing where it all comes from? Welcome to Collaborate. I'm Corinne Blazer from Metcalfe, Ontario, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Collaborate.
I'm Abu from Douala, Cameroon, and I'm co-founder and COO of Collaborate.
Collaborate is a farm-to-table pre-portioned meal kit delivery service that focuses on partnering with local producers, offering you easy menu planning as well as cooking classes for those looking to gain more skills in the kitchen. What sets us apart from our competitors is the fact that we only source our ingredients from local producers. For the sustainability of agriculture, we believe it is vital to educate those around us from where food comes from, and partnering with local producers is a vital role in this.
On the screen behind me, you can see some of the producers that we will be partnering with. We anticipate to get more partnerships through our marketing, as well as the Alberta government is launching an initiative to help funding for greenhouse production year-round, so we anticipate to have more greenhouses available to us in the near future. The other thing that sets us apart is our cooking lessons. Cooking classes can be held virtually or in person at our Calgary-based facility. Cooking classes are also used as a promotional strategy, but they can also be bought if you are willing to pay the extra fee. You can do them individually or in a group setting.
Our business model prides itself in a farm-to-table manner, which definitely works into a business strategy. For distribution, we plan on working with Local Line. That's the farm-to-fork business that helps us with distribution as well as ease our marketing process to reach our ideal clients. For promotional strategies, we plan on using simple tactics that work, such as pop-up shops, social media, as well as seasonal deals to target these clients at the ideal moments so we can get that sale. We also plan on linking sustainability and traceability by sharing real farm stories that our clients can connect to and trust us for the long haul.
So as mentioned before, Collaborate is a Calgary-based business. Our customers are busy individuals and families that just can't find enough time to do menu planning on their own or do grocery shopping. We also have health-cautious consumers that value fresh ingredients, and especially those that value buying from their local producers in their area. We have seen an increase in people wanting to know where their food comes from, as well as being able to cook meals from scratch in their own kitchen. This is why Collaborate was created. Through our pre-portioned meal kit delivery service, as well as our cooking classes, we bridge the gap between convenience, health, and supporting our local producers.
We would like you to join us on our mission to tap into this $400 million underserved market by providing us with a $1 million investment that will go into operations, inventory, technology, marketing, as well as compliance to position ourselves right in this market for the long term. As you can see on the financials, in the first year, by selling 286 meal kits monthly, we plan on generating a revenue of about $1 million, which brings us to an ending cash balance of that year for $757,000. We plan on the nosedive net income comes from the investment that goes into the growth stage, which generates about $1.6 million in the second year, as well as the third year, keeping the gross margin steady above all 3 years. So for all 3 years, we plan on generating accumulated revenue of $5.1 million, as well as selling 48,500 meal kits in all 3 years.
Thank you for listening to our presentation. We look forward to working with you as consumers and producers. We would now like to open the floor to any questions. So the question was pertaining to our competition, such as HelloFresh. So what sets us apart from HelloFresh is the fact that we partner with local producers and local producers only, as well as the fact that we offer cooking classes to those who aren't yet familiar in the kitchen and want to become more familiar with cooking skills. So yeah, that's our competitive advantage. Owen? No, so our home base would be assembly based, so we would either bring all of our produce in or it'd be delivered into our home base where we would make meal kits, so they would cook them in their own kitchen. However, we would also still have a kitchen at our home base for in-person cooking classes if people would want to come in and do that at our base facilities. Does this answer your question? Yeah.
Our startup costs comes up to $1,070,000 with $20,000 investment from us and $25,000 in grants and seeking $1 million in investment.
So the question was pertaining any, I guess, biosecurity matters that we could pertain with food. So, I mean, first and foremost, make sure that we have all the certifications we need with CFIA and all that, and then ensuring that we sanitize everything all the time. And then we would hope to trust that the producers that we are partnering with would let us know if they had some sort of outbreak in their produce or things like that, and then we would have to do a recall if any of that were to happen. But I mean, preventative measures for sure is the key to preventing it, of course. So yeah,
And
just
okay.
go ahead.
And to add to that, that's the reason why we set out 10% of that investment, that's $100,000, to go into compliance, because we understand that's very serious.
So we just decided Calgary to start off with, but we are very open to expanding once we get that customer base. We haven't overly thought about expansion, but it was in conversation. But yeah, we're open to the idea.
So we do have a one-time purchase as well as a subscription model, which goes for 2 persons and 4-person meal kits. So that goes into account when looking at the numbers. And she can further explain.
Yeah, so you can buy a box week on, week off, like whatever you want, or you can sign up for a 6-month subscription or a year-long subscription as well. And then if you get a subscription, there's added benefits to it. So for a 6-month subscription, you would get a free cooking class along with a percentage discount on certain items. And then you could also have like free add-ons, like let's say you want an extra cut of meat or something. We could add that on too as well if you're a subscription holder. Does this answer your question? And with that, that concludes our Ag Ventures presentations for the evening. Let's give one more big round of applause to all the students today. As well as let's give a round of applause to our judges that took their time today to do this. And now we invite you all to Spurs for the awards ceremony and social and to visit. So yeah, have a great night, everybody.